There you go. Woohoo!
Ding!
All right.
Okay, welcome to Talking After the Show, The Flash, Out of Time, Season 1, Episode 15. I'm Ari Styles, ARI4NNE on Twitter, and this is...
Christopher Schmidt. I am at Telject on the Twitters.
And we have with us...
Devin the Flash Johnson. I am Flash Johnson at Twitter and fastestfanalive.com.
Of course. Of course. So, wow, I have to say, we're recording a little bit later than usual, but I tried to preserve the moment because I just finished watching the episode like 15 minutes ago. Right. So, at least I still have that.
I had fresh,
fresh feeling.
Yeah, we're...
so fresh feeling.
Yeah, we just got Ari and I are just coming off of South by Southwest Interactive, and so we're just a little like... We're like a little crazy. Whoops, sorry, I got it.
Once again, we have the audio thing, so thank you all for your patience.
Yeah. That's just me somewhere. This is great. This is so much.
Okay, we need to check this so this doesn't happen.
This is awesome.
And we have with us...
This is great. There you go. That's what nailed it.
That did it? Okay, great.
Yes, see.
Okay.
I know exactly what's happening now. So
okay, there you go. You're able to find it much quicker.
Yeah, so... Okay. We just got back to South by, which kind of wrapped up last night for interactive.
For interactive.
Yeah, for interactive. So we were able to watch it live last night. So my I'm just gonna throw it back to you, Ari. Like, what is who's on notice from last time, and is anyone still on notice? Because I'll just open it up and say like. The opening the sequences are all about not the love triangle, but the love square.
Yeah, whatever that
whatever it is. So is that? So what do you think? Is it? Are we still like someone still on notice about that?
I was. Well, my same people remain on notice, and I would rather not, beat that dead horse again. Okay. But I will say, But I was pleased that for the accidental double date that both of the other people realized.
Yeah.
I was like, for both of them, I was like, man, I feel you, and I'm not even involved. But yeah, and so I was glad to see that come to. It's one of those things where maybe there had to be like third and fourth party come in order for the original two people to acknowledge what was happening or not happening between the two of them. Right. So I was grateful to finally have somebody else say something about it, and have everybody realize that it's just kind of undeniable and can we just move on in some way or another. So I was grateful for that.
Okay.
And nobody's really on notice because, while I don't want to, be all spoilery and everything, but somebody died this episode, and normally, I was thinking about this, normally the killer would be on notice with me, obviously, but he's obviously on notice with a lot of people for a lot of things.
Yeah.
But the other reason is it's very different when someone dies in a show that involves time travel.
Right.
Versus, like if somebody dies on Walking Dead or some other show that's, just a plain linear timeline, no flashback or something. But yeah. And so as heartbroken as I was, I was like, well, this isn't the end.
All right, so
for that person.
So you're holding out hope.
I am holding out hope. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. And the person I would be mad at for it, everybody else is mad at them anyway. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, it just for me the love square was like it's been such a laboring clumsy path to this point.
Yes,
it's just
clumsy. I would agree.
I felt like this is the episode in which we expected this to happen. Just like to both people to be upset with it and have this reveal. So it didn't seem like it was like I think I was just more relieved than anything that happened. So and then I guess the Weather Wizard, the brother from the first pilot, showed up. So that was pretty good too. So that was a good thing. But yeah, so I think just the love interest thing. I'm just glad that that's actually moved forward. And then we had to reveal spoilers.
I guess we did.
But so much stuff has happened.
Just know for people that are
there's two shows. This is my thing. There's two shows. The first 45 minutes is a boring show, and the last 15 minutes is the show that you want to watch. So that's just my view on it. Because everything that was cool happened in the last 15 minutes.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, let's see what Devin thinks.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see your point completely on the whole 45-minute, 15-minute thing. That makes sense to a degree. I don't know. I felt like the show was kind of fast forwarding. I hate to be cliche, but it's moving so far ahead in such a short span of time that they're trying to catch up almost. Like they didn't really plan it out enough to where it would be like, oh, this is a big thing happening.
Right.
Where that's the first season of a show. It's where it goes. It's not all set in stone from the beginning. Obviously, there's a pilot and there's everything else, and et cetera, et cetera. My main thing with the show that kind of bugged me a little bit, just a little bit, was just Iris. She still just seems like so. She's pretty, and she just, even when they try to make her sound smart and intelligent and come across as like she knows something of what's going on,
right?
Still seems like naive and just like, what are you doing? Doing anything really?
This you're right. This is a person who is a reporter who has a dad and a boyfriend and a best friend who are all on the police force. This was the first episode that she actually asked, any good leads for a cub reporter?
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Well, I will say this though. They did establish early on that she was trying to, do her own thing, carve out her own little whatever path. Right. And obviously she failed miserably at that, so she was like, okay, well, hey Flash, got new leads for me, and then here you go. And that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say the thing with the other thing about the bowling alley, and for anybody who, for our one viewer or whoever you may be, we're probably going to get more spoilery now. But for the actual bowling alley double date thing, it was Iris who turned her hand for that entire time. I thought that Barry was kind to his date, was like really, like attentive to her and everything. That was, Iris went and like touched his face to wipe ketchup off his face and was kind of like all up in their business the whole time. So that was really more about what she was doing, and she was obvious about it. So
yeah,
I can see where that whole, the lines are blurred, obviously, because, you have this whole brother-sister relationship thing going on.
Yes.
And this whole other thing going on. So I can see, the little wiping off, that's almost like a mom thing to do,
Yeah.
Look at that in your face real quick, like that kind of thing, It didn't seem to me like she was trying to, like, be overtly like, oh, I'm into Barry. It was more like she was just, like, being herself.
Yeah. But Linda said it well. She was like, the most irritating thing is that you never told me that the feeling was mutual.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
But she couldn't know because she had a boyfriend going on. She had a whole thing going on there. Come on.
Whatever.
Form you gotta have around. Come on, give her a little bit of a break. And on that point.
All right. Well,
a little bit of a break.
Yeah, it's like everybody has to we all know somebody in real life who forged ahead with whatever choice they made, even though it was a bad one, in the hopes that it would eventually someday look like a good choice. So maybe she moved in with her boyfriend a little too soon, before really thinking this through about whether she was interested in somebody else, but she's going to forge ahead with that decision to try to look or feel like she made a good one.
Well, it's like Christmas time. It's like really hard to break up with someone during Christmas time. Just like
spring is so much easier.
Yeah. You have to wait till Valentine's Day,
Yeah, after that, then that's
fair.
Yeah.
Really no like real in game until like around like late April, March. Even
right.
But
I think St. Patrick's Day when you're drunk is just like that's a good time.
But see, you have the excuse if you do something stupid that might end the relationship too. Yep, there you go.
No, I don't like this rabbit hole.
I know.
This rabbit hole we're going down. I'm like,
It's
I feel very.
It's definitely
Back on track.
Back on track.
Back on the main thing, the main craziness.
So this whole episode definitely had the feeling of like a whole bunch of pieces had been put into place, and now we have to play all of them. And we didn't even. At the ending, I didn't even feel like that we'd done everything that we were supposed to do. And I know it was supposed to be a cliffhanger, but I was like, wait,
You knew it was supposed to be a cliffhanger?
What?
You knew it was supposed to be a cliffhanger?
Well, yeah. Technically, every episode is a cliffhanger.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's just Devin, if you could set it up, like, we had the brother from the pilot episode come back, and so if you could just talk a little bit about the history aspect of it, the Flash characters, and
Mark Mardon, the Weather Wizard. He is my absolute favorite rogue, and I can't even really tell you why, much more beyond the fact that coolest powers ever.
Yeah.
And he was one of those rogues who he was always kind of there. He always had the potential to be more, and always got, like everyone else, whatever, got trounced by the Flash, got done. And so, the Weather Wizard was one of those characters when Jeff Johns revitalized the Flash around the early 2000s or so. He brought back Weather Wizard in a big way. It was like he had more mastery over his wand, his weather wand, and he just had like just a certain, just more of a mean streak in him. And you read it on the early Jeff Johns, right?
A little bit.
Okay, well, during that time, it was really like a random illegitimate child from like this cop woman, whatever, that was helping enhance his abilities. And during that whole time, they were building this whole subplot of like the network. Basically, the reason why all these rogues stick around Central City and Keystone City is because there's this massive black market underneath Central City and Keystone, and it's so lucrative. So just whatever, people stick around and keep going and going and going back and back, whatever. Fine. In any case, though, Mark Mardon is basically his brother invented a wand of some kind, some weather machine type thing, whatever. His brother was escaping from the cops, whatever. Went to see his brother, whatever. Ended up basically accidentally killing his brother by accident. He takes the wand and makes this costume and becomes this costume criminal. And that's the Weather Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not a whole lot to him, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I will say that because there was so many plot lines set up and so many things going on, it's almost like, almost as if this villain kind of got short shrift. I think that he had maybe 3 minutes of screen time total.
Yeah.
Because there were so many other things going on. I mean, it's an interesting backstory, everything with with him and his brother, and I think they explained it and everything. But I was just thinking to myself, this might be the least amount of time I've seen them spend with this single episode villain.
I don't know. I felt like I think they did them well. They had plenty of special effects shots. I was really kind of blown away. I guess blown away by the.
That's bad.
I was just really impressed with the special effects this episode, and I thought they did a pretty good job with that. I think, this is a villain who's definitely gonna come back and back and back and back. I don't think just so giving him a short change this time, I think it's okay because excuse me, I think he'll just he'll be back to make repeat visits down the way, just like Captain Cold and Heatwave. So yeah, but I think that they're definitely realizing there's fewer episodes left in the season than they started out with, which is great that we have all this stuff, and there's like one more episode for this one. I mean, there's the next episode, and then I think it's All-Star Team Up titled episode, which I am just dying to see. I can't wait for that one. But the next episode should be pretty good.
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So. So I think but yeah, I thought that was pretty good. And then, but I think we should, we're kind of like burying the lead a little bit because this, this is the episode where Barry Allen, travels in time for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes, and the other big reveal I think is that all the suspicions that people have had about Wells come to the fore too. So I kind of think that both of those things are kind of like the two big reveals in my mind.
Right.
Like not like we're surprised about Wells, but I think that people that are TV viewers might not have put together the time travel aspect until this episode.
Right. So I was punching in the face with it. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, hey, time travel.
Right.
I mean, it's really cool just to see that them actually embrace it. Not that the old show didn't embrace it either. The old show did a whole time travel episode as well. It was awesome, called Fast Forward, and it was just the craziest thing. It was basically, you watch old Show It All Ever, 1991, 1990 Show It All Ever?
Oh, yeah, I did. I really do not remember.
Okay, well, there's my favorite episode ever is one where Barry is fighting his arch nemesis from the first pilot episode, Pike, who killed his brother.
Oh, yeah.
It's out of prison or whatever on a technicality of some kind, and he gets his missile, and he's firing this missile at Barry, like he's taking a missile type thing, whatever, and Barry's trying to outrun it, and he like hits the detonator button or whatever, and the speed of Barry plus the impact from the missile propels him forward through time, and it's like 10 years in the future, and it's just like the most hokey, amazing thing ever in life. It's so great to see. It's like these it's just great stuff. And it just reminded me so much of that when I saw him just like, boom, and he's just like, poof, he's just like, what is going on? It's like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mostly remember the Mark Hamill Trickster episode. And I remember the pilot for the old one was really good. It was really like a really well done show as a pilot back in the 90s. If you get, they did their best with the Flash. I think they did in the pilot. But, but yeah, I'll have to go back and look up the. Sorry for everyone for coughing, but
I can't help but like think of like this the pilot when like he found out his brother Jay is dead, and he's just like, wow! It was the most hilarious manner ever. It was just so overdramatic and so terrible, but it was so great at the same time. Wow!
So, and then the other thing that happened, I'm not sure I mentioned this already because I'm coughing so much, is that, spoiler, is that Barry revealed that he's Flash to Cub reporter Iris West.
Lots of people learned lots of things today because, I mean, we could go through the list and, I don't know, it would be a pretty big list today, but, Barry and Iris revealed their feelings toward each other, and then because of circumstances, he had to reveal right then also that he is the Flash to her. Well,
it was like you wanted them to fall in love, and then then reveal that he's the Flash, right? Because it's the whole like Superman with the Lois Lane thing, right? You want Lois Lane to fall in love with Clark Kent, and then find out that he's Superman.
But we also want Barry to remember what Oliver said to him when Oliver came to visit, when Arrow came to town.
Which is?
That's never going to work out.
No. Oh. Dun dun dun.
I mean, I think some of our comic book fans know how it really works out. But I see that whole thing happening just as a precursor to kind of show us what could possibly happen in the future.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ready to necessarily let that out of the bag yet. I think that whole time thing is gonna basically reverse most of what we've seen already.
You think? Yeah, I was wondering how much they're gonna take back. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, and then the same thing, like, I mean, the same thing for being hit by lightning, the detective commander thing. Push him out the way, hit by lightning thing.
Right.
You remember Zolomon, right?
Yeah.
Zolomon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just so funny to me because like that's what happened to him. He got injured during a fight with the Rhodes Rever and paralyzed. So I'm like, how is this going to? Is this part of that at all, or is this something different? Or what?
Right. And this is the first time we saw this captain, right? Because he seemed like to come out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, I thought that was interesting.
He's been there.
Yeah.
He's been there in the background, barking orders to Gary, and he's been there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the first time he took a little charge.
Yeah, but after the after the time travel reveal and like when that pinpoint moment was, I was like, pretty much every revelation happened after this point in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been thinking since I saw it finished half an hour ago or whatever, which things they're gonna roll back.
Right. So
They better roll back Cisco.
Roll back Cisco, definitely.
Cisco's got to turn to vibe at the end at some point. So
yeah, definitely.
So basically, we have death of Cisco is gonna come back. Let's just make a list. Death of Cisco. Not untelling of he's a Flash to Iris. Iris and Barry do not tell each other they love each other. Do we go back?
Cisco doesn't figure out.
Right, Cisco doesn't figure out. And Tom Wells doesn't figure out.
Right, like all the people that in that conversation that I forget what the guy from the paper his name is, but he doesn't have the conversation with Barry either.
Okay.
Right.
So basically,
Mason.
So you know what I thought? I thought we spent like way too much time at that bowling alley. So I'm throwing out there.
I often feel that way when I go to a bowling alley.
I'm throwing out.
I don't go there, but
I think it's natural.
Bowling for Flash.
So I'm going to throw out there cliche alert. This is Lockdown Christopher cliche alert that the episode next week ends in the bowling alley, and they have a better date ending. And,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my cliche alert.
Okay.
That's my.
Okay. A random minor thing to kind of but it makes sense though. I can see it happening for sure.
Yeah.
CW show for all. CW. I mean, it's still there. Even more evidence. Every episode I've watched so far is that this is a CW show. I mean, it's all about the action's there, the drama's there, everything, but the drama's there. It's not just a love triangle; it's a love rectangle. Oh my gosh!
Love trapezoid.
It's a rhombus of love.
There you go. It's all going all over the place. It's all over the place.
Yeah. But I think what we're getting at is that because of time travel and how that kind of changes the show and affects plot lines, so many of the things that excited us about this episode could be rolled back next week.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So I anticipate them being rolled back next week.
All of it? Like what I'm going to say.
You know what? Actually, we should discuss this real quick, though.
Yeah.
The Arrow Flash spinoff that was announced during the break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
And Black Canary, the one who's apparently quote unquote dead, she's back.
Oh. Okay.
Flashpoint, maybe.
Okay. See, so I have to confess and say I watched on Hulu and they didn't have that. So tell me about it.
Okay, so basically they announced a spinoff during the break of Flash or whatever that is going to feature the Atom, Captain Cold, Heatwave, the original Black Canary. You ever watch Arrow at all, guys?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So, the first Sarah Lance.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's back. And so there's a bunch of things going on as far as that goes. And I'm just like, is she going to be a flashback type character, or is she going to actually be a real character who's been brought back to life by a Flashpoint?
They'll have the Reanimator there as well, and he brings dead superheroes back from the grave.
I mean, that's what happens.
That's right. Can't keep a good hero
Take
down.
on even more than you bargained for as a superhero because you may be reanimated.
You can't die ever. Right. No peace for you.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
The licensing fees alone are worth you coming back from the grave.
That's right.
So yeah.
And you got Ra's al Ghul already in Arrow. I mean,
Yeah.
Lazarus and all that good stuff.
Great. Oh man, I am coughing my way through this
It's
one.
all right. You're fine.
Yes. So, any nitpicking of this episode? Anything that we're like, what the heck?
I don't really want to nitpick so much. I mean, I think it's so funny because this is the one that I watched and I felt totally vindicated because the things that bothered me about Iris this time, somebody else brought it up for me, so I didn't have to.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And the only thing that kind of makes me sad is thinking about like what might get rolled back, just for, and you know, I could see if it like, I get about serving the story and keeping things going or whatever, but I just, you know, whatever they roll back, I just hope it feels genuine, and not, you know, forced like some things have felt.
Well, I liked for all, no matter what happens, if they do roll back 50 or 100%, that it is a small step for Barry to learn time travel. You know, and it's that small step that he's needed to make that big step.
Yeah,
at the end.
And see, that's the thing is, even if they roll back a whole lot of other things, he is going forward with all that knowledge.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if he undoes a whole bunch of things, he still knows everything that we saw this time around. And so he knows that Wells is up to. And he knows all of these other things. And so I don't think, you know, because of that, you know, they kind of have to be careful about what they do roll back. Like, there has to be a really good reason.
Right. So there's like, so what I like about it is like it's him learning time travel, so that this is going to lead to the cliffhanger, if you will, at the end. And then if you read DC Comics Flashpoint, things change considerably after the scenario, and so where they actually launched the new DC 52 based off the changes that he's did, and so it will be interesting what they come up with down the road, and so but yeah, so I think everything is shaping up nicely, and I really hope that the team up at the end in the next 2 weeks or so is really awesome. That's really what I want.
I don't know what's going on with that. I'm just confused. I don't watch trailers or spoilers. I try to avoid all that.
I just know the title, and so it's
if you go to the pages, usually it's like they announce at least the title and the writer and the director in advance.
I avoid it all.
Yeah.
Nope. Don't care.
Well,
don't care.
We've done it a lot to figure out, like, for shows that we like, including this one, like, is it going to be on this week? You know, because that's actually more accurate for us sometimes than looking at other places.
Sorry.
Okay, so wrapping it up, I guess.
Well, I will say, like, the directing, if I might put in there, was actually really good, and I looked that one up, and it's who is that guy? It was Thor. Is his first name? Let me see if I can find his.
No, it's you pasted it over there.
Oh, sorry.
It's right there.
Oh yeah, it's Thor.
Freudenthal.
And he directed Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh, okay.
And he directed 2 of the Percy Jackson
movies.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, I feel the directing was really well done in terms of it felt like
they did cram a lot of information in.
Yeah, a lot of information, and I felt like the placements of the characters and the movements, and I didn't feel confined, you know, or sterile, you know.
Or left behind on the story, too, because they had to shift gears a lot.
Right, so I think the directing was really good. I hope he comes back, and it just does.
There are more cows shown than they normally show in that show. Typically, it's like Star Labs, a random police whatever thing, whatever, and then like a crime scene, and that's about all we really see. And then maybe a warehouse somewhere where he fights the villain or something. So you're right. It was kind of cool seeing different, you know, settings in general. Just it was a nice change of pace. I didn't think about it until you just mentioned it actually, but yeah, it's Yeah,
and the cliffhanger was like also kind of too good because we actually ended the show like on the pier or wharf or whatever, and actually in the middle of the street. It wasn't, you know, I felt like it was like a breath of fresh air instead of wrapping it up at, you know, at the home
or Star
Labs or the police officers. Yeah, so.
Yeah, Barry, we took that guy down real nicely, didn't we? Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah.
I found down there with no food or no water.
Like poignant one-liner.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
yeah. And freeze.
Yeah.
Great job, Barry.
I don't know. So yeah.
True.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Okay.
So Devin, what do you favorite parts or inclusion or anything
Anything that we left out?
Yeah, anything.
There were some awesome Easter eggs. I don't know Easter eggs per se, but I noticed them myself because I'm a weird geek fan.
No, I like hearing them.
Yes.
So when he's the whole big tsunami thing going towards Central City. Okay, so back in Wally West's run, back around 123, 126 or so, he gets exiled from Central City and Keystone City. They tell him he has to go somewhere else to do his operations as superhero because it's causing too much property damage and insurance issues and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So this California, area, Santa Marta, offers to make him their one official superhero or whatever. So he goes there and does his thing, whatever. And meanwhile, an old foe of his from back in the Justice League days, Major Disaster, shows up.
Yeah.
With these amped up powers from this demon named Neron, whatever. He's this guy who granted a bunch of villains wishes to become more powerful, to cost their souls. Long story. 90s. Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
yeah.
He has these abilities that are just amped up beyond belief, and he uses them to cause a crazy tsunami that basically wipes out Santa Marta. And it wasn't the same exact thing. This reminded me of it. It was kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
It's kind of cool stuff. And then on top of that, one thing I do want to notice is that I don't like how they are shoehorning so much of Wally's past into the whole Barry thing. I get that's how the old show was as well. It's kind of an amalgam or amalgam rather of Barry and Wally combined together.
Right.
But I mean, it just seems like they're trying to just undermine Wally West at every single corner they can. There's no, this guy's never going to be anything that we care about ever. You know what I mean? It's upsetting a little bit, but I love the show.
Yeah, but you have to realize the Barry Allen that the generation before us loved. No offense, but those stories were alien raiders came down. What's Barry Allen gonna do? Or Barry is strapped to a gigantic boomerang and he's launched. What's he gonna do about it? There wasn't a lot more need for character development like they were by the time the 70s and 80s rolled around, and so yeah. I mean, what are they gonna do, right, man? Come on.
In defense of the giant boomerang thing.
This is so great. You're gonna put in the giant boomerang.
They did a great job with it.
Defending
I can't see it. It's done. I can't see it. I can see Barry just trapped to a giant boomerang. Oh my god, it just happened. It needs to happen sometime. It needs to happen. Right. But anyway, overall though, the episode was exciting. I enjoyed most of it. It moved things along a little bit too fast, I think, but I think at the same time, no, that was for a certain effect because making it all happen this episode keeps it fresh in our minds.
Right.
So when it all gets whatever unchanged or whatever thing happens, it's more poignant. It makes more sense. It comes across as something bigger because there was a 2-week break in between. I mean, my attention span is woo-hoo, so I can only imagine what anyone else is like. I mean, so it makes sense.
Right.
But yeah, overall though, 3 stars out of 5. You can ask me.
So, sorry about this, but so what did you not like about the show? Did we not cover it? What?
I think we already talked about it.
Oh yeah,
I didn't really have anything that I disliked.
Well, Devin we had 5 stars, right?
It was just a little too fast paced. This all could have been done a little bit over time, more gradually, just kind of letting us see things happen, and it kind of was, but it just amped up to like over 10, like right. This episode was just like too much all at once. It was like, what are you doing? It's just and I love it. I did because I'm like, oh, flash, flash, flash. But the more I watched it, 7 times I'm watching it.
I totally see what you're saying because I think that we've felt like we've sat here before talking about other episodes where it's like, they're just moving stuff into place. We have to wait for all this stuff to happen, and it is kind of and there are things that suck about making it happen all at once.
Yeah.
But I think just for me, and I can't speak for anybody else, but it kind of felt like it all came to a head in a messy way, the way that life does.
Right.
Where there's like a whole bunch of turning points just kind of happen at once, whether you want them to, so many things come to the head, right? Whether you want them or need them to or not, and like that things that couldn't be timed or.
Right. Hey.
Yeah.
To me, it felt like a really good comic book from the Wally West early series was that. There was a nice arc, Wally was doing something, and then at the end, especially like with Flash #1 with Wally West, is that at the very end, he wins the lottery, millions of dollars. Mandel Savage is in his house, and he wants to kill him. And then there's no way out. Stay tuned for the next issue. I thought that was, it felt like that kind of felt like to me. Was a really good comic book story.
He's a great writer. I love that first 40 issues of that run are just so underrated.
Yeah, so
true, man. So true. He's right, though. I mean, you're right. I mean, brilliant insight. That's the way life works. I mean, you can always plan out when, stuff hits the fan. I mean, it's just boom.
Yeah, but it definitely had that feeling of everything hitting the fan. That's an apt metaphor.
Yeah. So, I mean, my question.
Yeah.
So my question is that it's still Central City where he's at, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end, right? It's his pieces back in time, right? It wasn't like he's in Keystone or something.
No, it was like it was right at the other crime that he was helping with.
No Earth 2, unfortunately.
He was like on the way to the coroner.
Okay, cool. So I thought like it wasn't some like weird Max Headroom.
No, it was the exact same scene.
Okay, and then my nitpick of the day for this episode, if we gotta leave on this one, the coroner had an automatic recorder in his office. Right? And that's how they knew it was the Weather Wizard, right? Right? However, Barry Allen is talking in Barry Allen's voice in the same room where his recorder is talking, where he is recording. And so I'm like, hey, Barry Allen arrived at the crime scene before anyone else did. How is that possible? And he's talking on the, like it's like he's.
Oh, it's like they didn't go that far on the recording.
Yeah, exactly. So so I'm like. So that's my nitpick of the day.
I feel like if they keep listening to the recording, this is what they will discover. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't notice that one. You win something for noticing.
That's solid, actually. Solid observation.
Yeah, that's my no prize of the day. So.
That's right.
All right, cool. Well,
you get to be smug.
Yes. I have to be smug. Yes.
You have a reason now.
I'm going to wear it like a badge.
That's right.
But cool, awesome. So show's back on.
Yes. That's the best thing about this week is that we have a show now.
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah.
Again.
And so I'm coughing.
No.
This is great.
We'll still be here. It's all good.
Yeah.
Woman and honey.
A lot of honey. Next week is. I just looked ahead, and the title is all I know is it's called Rogue Time.
Okay.
Rogue Time, so it should be pretty fun episode, I think. And that's all I know. So, but we'll be here next week.
Yes.
Next Tuesday.
Woohoo!
So.
Indeed.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Well, this is fun. I enjoyed this. This is great.
All right.
Cool.
Well, thanks, Devin.
Yeah.
And thanks, Christopher.
Okay. And this is Ari Styles. You can reach her on Twitter at
ARI4NNE.
Okay. And this is Devin. And you reach Devin at.
Reach me at Flash Johnson on Twitter. and fastestspinalive.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm Christopher Schmidt. You can reach me on Twitter at TLEE.
TELE.
J.
JECT. I'll eject.
Very tired. He's been very tired.
All right, and this has been Talking After the Show. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Penguin kicks us out.